Have you ever stopped yourself from doing something you really wanted to do because you were worried about what people would say? Maybe you wanted to switch careers. Maybe you wanted to dress differently. Maybe you wanted to speak up more or start a business, go back to school, or even end a relationship that was draining your life out of you. But then that voice appeared. Not your voice, the voice of imaginary people. What would they think of me? What if they laugh at me? What if I fail in public? What if people talk about me? And just like that, you stopped. You put your dream on hold. You delayed your decision. You remained where you were, not because you couldn't move forward, but because you were carrying the weight of other people's opinions. The sad thing is that many people spend their entire lives trying to avoid criticism. They never truly become themselves. They become what everyone else expects them to be. Think about that for a moment. Imagine spending 50 or 60 years trying to gain approval from people who are also trying to gain approval from other people. It's almost funny when you think about it. Everybody is worried about everybody. Meanwhile, nobody is actually free. One of the greatest prisons in the world is not made of bars. It's not guarded by soldiers. It's not surrounded by walls. It's a prison of public opinion. And the strange thing about this prison is that many people lock themselves inside. Nobody forced them. Nobody arrested them. Nobody put them there. They simply became addicted to approval. They became dependent on validation. They began measuring their worth by reaction of others. And from that moment, their freedom slowly disappeared. You see, there's nothing wrong with caring about people. There's nothing wrong with respecting opinions. There's nothing wrong with receiving advice. The problem begins when other people's opinions become more important than your own convictions. That's where the danger lies. Because now your life is no longer directed by purpose. It's been directed by applause. The applause is very dangerous thing. An applause is a very dangerous thing. Because the same crowd that cheers for you today can criticize you tomorrow. The same people who support you when you are winning can disappear when you are struggling. The same people telling you what to do often don't even know what to do with their own lives. Yet somehow we hand them the steering wheel. Let me ask you something. How many people who criticize you are actually paying your bills? How many people who mock your dreams are helping you achieve them? How many people who constantly judge your choices are willing to carry the consequences of those choices? Most of the time, the answer is none. And yet their opinions have so much power over us. Why? Because human beings naturally want acceptance. We want to belong. We want to be liked. We want people to approve of us. That desire is normal. But when it becomes excessive, it becomes dangerous. Because now you're no longer living your life. You're performing for an audience. And audiences are impossible to satisfy. Let's be honest. No matter what you do, somebody will criticize you. If you are quiet, they will say you are boring. If you are talkative, they'll say you talk too much. If you are ambitious, they'll say you are proud. If you are humble, they'll say you are weak. If you are successful, they'll say you are lucky. If you fail, they'll say they saw it coming. You literally cannot win. And that's why trying to please everyone is one of the most exhausting jobs in the world. It's a job with no salary, no promotion, and no retirement. Because the moment one person becomes happy with you, another person becomes unhappy with you. And I think social media has made this problem worse. Years ago, people only worried about what family members, friends, and neighbors thought or would say. Now, people worry about strangers, complete strangers, people they have never met, people who don't know their story, people who may never meet them. Imagine allowing somebody you've never met to stop you from chasing your dream. Yet it happens every day. Someone wants to create content, but they are afraid of comments. Someone wants to start a business, but they are afraid of criticism. Someone wants to share their talent, but they are afraid of judgment. So they stay silent. They hide. They keep waiting. Sometimes they wait forever. Here is something I've noticed. Most people are not actually thinking about you as much as you think. I know that sounds surprising, but it's true. We often imagine that everyone is watching us, everyone is analyzing us, everyone is discussing us, but most people are too busy dealing with their own problems. They are worried about their finances, about their relationships, their careers, their health, their future. They are focused on themselves. In fact, the people you spend hours worrying about may not have thought about you once today. Think about how liberating that is. The spotlight you think is on you is not nearly as bright as you imagine. There's another reason why people struggle with this issue. Many of us grew up being rewarded for approval. When we were children, we received praise for doing certain things. Good grades, good behavior, good performance. Over time, some people unconsciously develop a habit. They begin seeking external validation for everything. They need approval before making decisions. They need approval before taking risks. Approval before trying something new. Approval before being themselves. The problem is that adulthood doesn't work that way. Sometimes the right decision will be unpopular. Sometimes growth requires disagreement. Sometimes your purpose will confuse people. Sometimes your next level will offend those who benefited from your old limitations. And if you always need approval, you will never have the courage to move forward. See, one thing I've learned is that confidence is not the absence of criticism. Confidence is the willingness to continue despite criticism. Many people think confident individuals don't get judged. That's not true. They get judged too. People talk about them. People misunderstand them. People criticize them. The difference is that they don't allow those opinions to control their decisions. And that's a skill anyone can learn, including you watching me right now. Before we continue, if you're finding value in this conversation, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are building a community of people who want to grow, who want to think differently and become the best version of themselves. Also, I want to hear from you. Have you ever stopped yourself from doing something because you were worried about what people would think? Tell me in the comments. I read comments also, and your story might encourage someone. So, here is a powerful truth. Let me tell you, The life you want is often on the other side of other people's opinions. Think about that. The business you want to start, the book you want to write, the content you want to create, the opportunity you want to pursue, the change you want to make. Many times, the only thing standing between you and that future is fear of judgment, not lack of ability, not lack of opportunity, not lack of intelligence. Fear disguised as caution, fear disguised as humility, fear disguised as logic. And until you confront it, you will keep living below your potential. The question is not whether people will judge you. They will. The question is whether their judgment is more important than your future. That's the real question. There's going to be another part of this video. I don't want to make it too long. In the next part, we're going to be talking about why people's opinion have so much power over us and the society. Please, if you have watched this video to this point, I want you to drop your comments, what you think about this whole conversation. Drop it in the comment section. And please, like I said, if you have not subscribed, please do well to subscribe and let's grow this community together. Thanks for watching. My name is Arome Austin.